Today we'll be evaluating Collin Johnson, wide receiver, Texas. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with all the great content coming from the team over here at RotoHeat.com. Johnson is 6'6", 220 pounds. In his career at Texas, he had 188 catches for 2,624 yards and 15 touchdowns. The interesting thing to note here is that in 2018, he had almost half of his production, 68 catches, 985 yards, and 7 touchdowns. For athletic ability, we gave him a 6.8 out of 10. Most of the evaluators agreed that not only he has really good size at the receiver position at 6'6", but he's got above average speed. The thing about him is we expect him, kind of project him to the next level as kind of a red zone threat. He's got a really good jumping ability. If you want a good example of that, check out his tape against Utah in 2019. He's got a lot of things about his athletic profile because of his size that you like. Kind of the bigger wingspan and kind of catch radius because of his long arms and some of that ability. So we think at the next level that teams are going to really like what they see kind of from the physical standpoint of Collin Johnson. For toughness, we gave him a 6.8 out of 10. The cool thing about Collin Johnson is that he's a very willing blocker. We saw a lot of physicality to his game, using his big size to try to fight for the ball, using his strong hands to try to fight off press, man coverage. There's a lot to like about him. And the interesting thing is a lot of guys kind of saw that he did a lot of little things above average. He wasn't really amazing at anything, but there's a lot to like about his size and the physicality to his game. And these are areas that we think the combine will help him with and show that to potential scouts and teams that are there to watch him. For hands, we gave him a 6.5 out of 10. This is another area where I think the combine is either going to be a help, or in this case with hands, a potential hurt. There's quite a few of the games that we saw where he's kind of doing kind of the bobble double catch, where maybe hand size could be a potential issue for him. Not positive, so we definitely need to see some of those measurements at the combine. Going back to some of the athletic stuff where I talked about he having a good wingspan and catch radius. Those are areas of his game that will help. So it's kind of, with Collin Johnson, that's kind of his theme. Is it's kind of a love, not love type situation. Like, it's hard. You're kind of either going to be in a camp where you're really intrigued by him in certain areas of his game, and there's other things where you're like, oh, I don't know if I like this. So the combine, I think, will be a really big help for Collin Johnson, one way or the other. For Yak, we gave him a 5.9 out of 10. Definitely not really very good when it comes to the after the catch ability, unless it's something like a busted play where he's out and alone by himself. You don't see him make a lot of defenders miss. You see him use his hands pretty well to receive the ball, and his hands and his route running will be areas of his game that teams will like. But there has to be more to his game. What we've seen on tape so far, he's probably going to get the possession receiver or red zone threat tag you hear all those play-by-play guys talk about on Sunday mornings or Sundays at the next level. He does a lot of those things well. It's just making the big plays or doing some of those things after the catch are really going to be trouble for him, and that kind of limits how really valuable he can be at the next level. For route running, we gave him a 6.9 out of 10. He's definitely a technician in this area. You can tell that he's worked at running very crisp, very precise routes. He does a good job with it. And I think that's another area that kind of helps push the red zone threat, possession receiver, because those are areas for those types of receivers that they excel in. And this is something that Johnson excels in. He should be able to be good in those two areas as he moves to the next level. Now, the concern that we have is that there was oftentimes it seemed like he had trouble. He tried to use his hands to beat press coverage, but there was oftentimes where more physical corners, and he's going to see it at the NFL. He's going to see physical corners that are going to try to bump him off his route, early, can he beat those? Can he go to the next level and kind of dominate in those type of situations? And if he can, then that'll be really huge for him. Overall, we gave him a 6.6 out of 10. He kind of strikes me as like he could come out of this and be a sleeper type prospect. So if he has a really good combine, measures well, runs a good 40 for a guy at his height, he could come out of this combine and start becoming kind of one of those sneaky risers in the draft, just because he does some of those very technical things, route running so well. Some of the evaluators on the RotoHeat team think he's got top 7 rookie wide receiver type potential. So being one of the top 7 rookie wide receivers in this class. So the concern with Collin Johnson's game was the issue at Texas quarterback related? Was it receiver related? Was it both? I mean, the college film that we saw on Collin Johnson and we watched between the team a lot of film, it was just very underwhelming. So you see him win in tight spaces, but then have trouble beating some of the guys that are pressing him at the line. Yeah, I mean, just a lot of that kind of back and forth. If we had to guess right now, he's probably kind of a 3rd round rookie pick, depending on who you talk to on the team. But it's gonna be really interesting to see kind of how the combine does for some of these fringe guys that have some of the intangibles that you like to see, but don't, that either didn't put it together on the tape in college or there were some concerns. So it'll be really interesting to see. But let us know what you think about Collin Johnson. Are you a Texas person that saw the ins and outs and know something that we don't know? Are you somebody who evaluates college film professionally and you want to give us tidbits? Let us know in the comments below. Let us know who you want us to rate and review next. Don't forget to keep it locked to RotoHeat.com for all of your 2020 rookie content.
Also, right there, playlist. Hit it. Watch the videos. Do it. You want to. Do it.